Lever Brothers, makers of Rinso, R-I-N-S-O, Soapy Rich Rinso, presents Boston Blackie, starring Chester Morris.
A string of valuable pearls was stolen sometime today from this shop.
Huh?
I personally took them out of the safe and put them in the showcase this morning.
Might be an inside job. How about your employees, Mr. Gordon?
Well, just those two women you see behind the counters, that's all.
Huh?
Mrs. Phillips, the short, gray-haired woman, has been here 20, came with us 18 years ago. And I trust both of them implicit bonded delivery service.
And nobody came into the shop today except regular customers, eh? Nobody came in just to look around?
Well, not today. And we always pay particular attention to strangers.
Do you have any kind of a record of people who did come in?
Yes, we have a complete list. You see, when someone comes in to have something repaired, we give him a receipt and keep the duplicate. And when anyone purchases an article, well, naturally, we enter that in our records, too.
Good. I'd like to see.
Yes, Mr. Gordon.
Bring me today's sales records, please.
Yes, sir.
That list might give me a lead, but with my luck, I doubt it.
Here's the list, Mr. Gordon.
I'll take that, Mr. Phillips.
Yes, sir.
Let's see, Mrs. Van Dyke Smythe, George Ellis, Lady Mary Andrews. Let's see now. Hey, this name here. Is this man a customer of yours?
Oh, yes, sir, for many years. He was in about noon to get suspicious of him.
Mr. Gordon, when a string of pearls is missing from a certain store and a certain party was in that certain store and that certain party's name is Boston Blackie, I'm suspicious.
In a few moments, we'll meet Boston Blackie. But right now, I'm told by the best authorities that when you ladies set out to buy a dress, you're mighty particular about the color. And so it stands to reason that once you've got exactly the right color, the one that does the most for you is the expression, I believe, you do your level best to see that it stays that color by the most careful laundering. Yes, you'd pick a soap you know to be reliable, like Soapy Rich Rinso, for instance. For you see, Rinso's peppy suds get out more dirt, but they're safe for washable colors. Leave them crisp and vivid, even after dozens and dozens of washings. And because you don't have to do any hard scrubbing or boiling with Rinso, your clothes will stay new-looking longer. So better get Rinso before next wash day, for an easier wash day, and for a wash that's Rinso bright and Rinso white. And now to the latest adventure of Boston Blackie. Enemy to those who make him an enemy, friend to those who have no friend.
This'll kill Blackie Matthews. I'll have him so cold he could refrigerate a warehouse.
Well, I don't know, Inspector. I don't know.
Oh, you don't know. Of course you don't know. Get this set up. From Gordon's jewelry shop today when he left his watch to be repaired.
You going to pick him up, Inspector?
No, not now. But tomorrow. Tomorrow he's going to call for his watch, and there's going to be a tray full of very valuable stones, practically under his nose. And nobody will be watching him. Blackie lifts a trinket or two, and when he gets outside the store, we grab him. How does it sound?
I don't know, Inspector. I don't know. But if it just wasn't Blackie.
Oh, Matthews, you're fired.
Blackie. Hey, Blackie. Faraday been here, Blackie, has he?
Well, not that I can remember. I haven't seen the inspector in a week. You know, I think I'm on his hate parade.
Oh, you'll be seeing him, Blackie.
Yes?
The boys just tipped me off that he's after you for lifting a string of pearls from the Gordon jewelry shop this afternoon.
Well, isn't that nice? I didn't take them, Shorty.
I know, but that ain't going to stop Faraday from trying to pin it on you.
Oh, he does that from force of habit. By the way, I left my watch to be fixed at Gordon's this noon.
Oh, that's probably what gave Faraday his big idea.
Yes, and you say a string of pearls is missing, huh?
Well, that's what the man said.
Shorty, I saw one of the clerks put a string of pearls in her handbag just before she went to lunch.
No kidding, boss?
Yes. Yes, it was Mrs. Phillips. Oh, you've seen her, Shorty, a little gray-haired old lady. She's been at Gordon's for years.
You think she lifted the pearls?
Well, I didn't at the time. Oh, no, it couldn't be. Mrs. Phillips isn't a thief. Well, she's a dear, sweet person. Well, she looks like everybody's mother.
Okay, boss, okay. I ain't the one who said she snatched them.
But the pearls are gone. I'll get it, Shorty.
Okay.
Hello, Boston Blackie speaking.
Oh, Mr. Blackie, this is Mrs. Phillips from Gordon's jewelry shop.
Oh, yes. Yes, what can I do for you, Mrs. Phillips?
I must see you right away. My address is 722 Alden, apartment 4B.
I'm definitely at your service. Be right over. Goodbye.
Going before dinner, boss? But something's cooking.
You're right, Shorty. And I'm going to find out what it is.
Good evening, Mr. Blackie.
How do you do, Mrs. Phillips?
Won't you come in?
Thank you.
I'm sorry Mr. Phillips isn't here. Lodge nights, you know. He's been his one night a week with the boys for the last 35 years.
Oh, I see. Well, what did you want to see me about, Mrs. Phillips?
Mr. Blackie, I understand you're suspected of taking a string of pearls from the Gordon jewelry shop. I heard Inspector Faraday tell Mr. Gordon.
That's right. He thinks I took them, and I think you did.
Oh.
You see, I saw you put those pearls in your handbag.
You saw me?
Uh-huh.
Oh, Mr. Blackie, please. Please don't say anything to anybody about this, please.
Well, I'm afraid I'll have to, Mrs. Phillips, if the police get too annoyed.
I'm sorry I've implicated you. It's been on my mind all evening. That's why I phoned you.
Now, look. Look, suppose you just put those pearls back in the morning, and then there won't be any trouble. Now, how's that?
But I can't do that. I haven't got them.
Did you sell them? You know they could be traced to you if you did.
I didn't sell them. Oh, please. I can't tell you anything about them. I'm in terrible trouble.
Well, why not let me help you, Mrs. Phillips?
Nobody can help me. It's something that happened years ago, but I don't dare tell you about it.
Don't dare, huh? Sounds as if somebody was blackmailing you. Does your husband know?
No, he mustn't ever know. It would kill him.
Well, of course you know your blackmailer won't be satisfied with just the pearls, Mrs. Phillips. Next, he'll want something else. You'll never be rid of him unless he stops.
I'm afraid to tell you anything, Mr. Blackie. But you're right. He isn't satisfied with just the pearls. He told me when I gave them to him. Oh.
Uh-huh. I see. He doesn't waste much time, does he? What is it he wants now, Mrs. Phillips? Come on, please tell me.
A ruby. A 20-carat ruby we have in stock.
I see. And what would happen if he didn't get the ruby?
Something terrible. But I won't let it happen. It mustn't happen. I'll get him what he wants.
Well, perhaps what he wants won't be there for you to take tomorrow.
You mean you'd take it first?
Well,
Oh, you couldn't. You mustn't for your own sake as well as mine.
for my sake.
Yes. This morning, Inspector Faraday told Mr. Gordon that he was going to lay a trap for you tomorrow when you come for your watch. They're going to put some jewels on the counter where you can get them easily, and then they're going to arrest you as you leave the store.
Oh, they are they? That's very interesting.
You won't take that ruby now, will you, Mr. Blackie? I've got to get it. To keep someone from talking.
Well, I don't know, Mrs. Phillips. I've got an idea that from now on, I'm going to do all your talking for you. Matthews, all your cops out of sight?
Yes, sir.
Hey, there's Blackie's car now, just coming along the street. You see it?
Yeah, almost opposite the store. He's driving pretty slow.
Come on, Matthews. Let's get out of sight.
Yeah. Blackie, you're crazy. Here we were yesterday minding our own business. No pearls, no rubies, no trouble. Now where are we?
Right in front of Gordon's jewelry store. And we're about to stop, Shorty. And we still have no pearls, no rubies, but plenty of trouble. And I'm afraid we're going to have more.
You mean you're going across the street to Gordon's and lift that ruby like you said?
Certainly. Mrs. Phillips is in trouble, and I'm going to help her.
Uh-huh.
I'd like to meet whoever's blackmailing that lovely old lady, Shorty. And that ruby is going to be my introduction.
Okay. So you meet him, so you take care of him. That old lady still stole the pearls. That's still a crime.
I'll get those pearls back. And give her the ruby to put back, too. Then nobody will be hurt. Except our blackmailing friend.
Well, what about the trap Faraday set for you?
Oh, that? Well, that makes it more interesting, Shorty. You see this cigar?
Yeah, sure, I see it.
Well, look. The center is hollowed out.
Uh-huh.
That's why you're here.
You brought me along because the center of the cigar has a hole in it?
That's right. Now, when I come out of the store, I'll be smoking this cigar, and when Faraday grabs me, I'm going to be so surprised, I'm going to drop it. And you're going to pick it up.
Me, boss? I'm going to pick up a butt just like the old days?
That's right, Shorty. And you're going to take very good care of it. Because in that hole in the cigar, there's going to be a 20-carat ruby. So long.
Okay, Blackie. Good luck.
Thanks. Well, good morning. Hello there, Mr. Gordon.
Good morning, Mr. Blackie. Well, I'm busy right now with this young lady.
Oh.
Mrs. Phillips has your watch ready for you.
Good morning, Mrs. Phillips. Beautiful morning, isn't it? You have my watch?
Why, yes,
Oh, it's this cigar. I'm sorry, Mrs. Phillips. Oh, my, what lovely rubies.
here's your watch, Mr. Blackie. That will be $5. Please don't touch the ruby.
$5, huh? Well, thank you very much. Here you are. Goodbye, Mrs. Phillips.
Mr. Blackie, you shouldn't have...
Goodbye, Mr. Gordon.
I'll take another set, Blackie.
Oh, Inspector Farragut. Oh. Well, you startled me.
Yeah, I see. Now get back in that store and keep your hands in the air. Matthews?
Yeah, Inspector.
Now get the boys on all sides of Mr. Boston Blackie. We're going back in the store and searching.
Hey, the ruby's missing.
No.
He took the ruby.
Take it easy, Mr. Gordon. Of course he took it. I told you he would, didn't I?
Yes, but when will I get it back?
Just as soon as we search Blackie. Which we're going to do in the back room right now, Mr. Gordon.
Boys are ready, Inspector.
Good.
Well, it's nice of you, Inspector, to have provided a police escort back into the store.
Don't mention it, Blackie. You make bad bargains.
What do you mean?
You've only had that ruby 30 seconds, and it's going to cost you 30 years. Now, let's get back in the other room and start this search.
By the way, Inspector, don't forget to look in my pocket.
Well, what did you do with that ruby, Blackie? We've searched you from head to foot, and we can't find it.
Well, he must have it. I saw it on the tray just a minute before he came in. And after he left, it was gone.
Yeah.
You arrested him before he could move from the door. He must still have it. Well, maybe I swallowed it.
Very clever, Blackie. You're very clever. I've got an idea. Maybe you did swallow it.
Are you kidding?
Well, we'll soon find out. I'm going to see what you look like behind a fluoroscope.
I see. You want to get the inside story. Well, it seems as though Boston Blackie's plan to steal the ruby might have suffered disaster. However, we'll see about that in a moment. Right now, maybe it's the heat, but I definitely feel a poem coming on. Here goes. There was a young housewife named May, who, if you asked her, would say,
My watch? A delight. Yes, it's white, Rinso white. For Rinso suds, hip, hip, hooray.
yes, many a woman cheers those rich, peppy Rinso suds. Not only because they help her to turn out such a dazzling Rinso whitewash, but because they save her so much hard work and time.
And these hot August wash days, that's something. Well, I think I just give up. If I had to pick up heavy loads of clothes, put them in a steaming boiler, lift them out, scrub the life out of them.
Stop. I can't bear the whole idea. It certainly is different than the Rinso way.
Heavens, yes. I just plop my dirty clothes into a tub full of rich Rinso suds, let them soak a little while, give the extra dirty places a few quick finger rubs, and they're ready to rinse.
You hear that, ladies? It's a mighty fine prescription for a hot weather wash day or any wash day. Better get Rinso tomorrow. And now back to Chester Morris as Boston Blackie. In order to deal with the unknown man who is threatening aged Mrs. Mary Phillips, Boston Blackie has stolen a 20-carat ruby from the Gordon jewelry shop and hidden it in a cigar. Inspector Faraday has been unable to find the ruby, but now has an idea that Blackie has swallowed it. I didn't swallow the ruby, Inspector. I'm strictly on a milk diet.
We'll see, Blackie. As soon as you stand in back of that machine.
Faraday, the fact that the ruby was 20 carats is throwing you a little. You see, a ruby is completely indigestible, believe me.
Very funny. Now get back of that machine, Blackie.
All right. But supposing the ruby doesn't show up?
Am I excused for the rest of the day, teacher?
Get back of that fluoroscope.
All right.
Now, how's this? Yeah. Now just stand there. All right. Turn on the machine, Doc. Right.
How do I look, Inspector?
It's an improvement. I can't. How does this work, Doc?
Any object such as a ruby will show up clearly if he has swallowed it.
See anything?
Now, don't tell me you see a strange man and I'm going on a date.
Me neither. Okay, turn it off. Come on out, Blackie. All right, put your shirt on and then beat it. I can't hold you.
Oh, bless you, Faraday.
Bless me.
You know, it takes a big man to know when he's licked.
I'm not licked yet.
That's what I mean. Good day, gentlemen. Just a minute.
You spread the rumor that I got away with a ruby, Shorty?
Yeah. I spread the story all over town just like you said, boss.
Then if I'm lucky, this is the fish that swallowed the bait. Coming. So, how do you do?
Boston Blackie?
Yes, that's right.
My name's Tom Elliott. I'd like thanks. All right, if I sit down?
Certainly. Make yourself at home.
You can give me the ruby you took from the Gordon jewelry shop this morning. I know you've got it.
Oh, you do, huh? Well, why should I give it to you?
I believe you're going to want to give it to me.
And just why am I going to want to give you the ruby, Mr. Elliott?
You know Mrs. Norris? Ever meet her husband? A wonderful man. They're crazy about each other. Have been for 35 years.
Well, what about it?
Rather interesting story. You see, before he married her, that's 35 years ago, he escaped from prison. Of course, she didn't know anything about it when she married him.
When did she find out?
When I told her.
Oh.
I had to tell her, you see. If I had come to him with this story, I'd have gotten nothing out of him. He'd have committed suicide and given himself up.
I see. So you want his wife because you went to his wife because you knew you'd do anything to protect her husband. Even steal to keep him from going back to jail. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. And her long and trustworthy service in the Gordon shop completed the setup.
Well, you know, that's just about the way I figured it. Only I didn't know the details.
I told them to you for one reason.
Yes?
If you don't give me the ruby, I intend to turn John Phillips over to the police. Well, do I get it, Blackie?
You get it.
Good, and I don't want any interference from now on, either. Let's understand that, too.
I understand. All right, here's the stone. Now get out of here before I forget that your scheme is foolproof.
Goodbye, Mr. Blackie. You're a very...
What's up? Tell that man that just left here.
Right.
I'd like to know why a rat like that lives, and I'd also like to know where.
Mr. Blackie.
Oh, hello, Mrs. Phillips. May I come in?
Please do, Mr. Blackie.
Thanks.
The police didn't find the ruby?
No, of course not. But your friend, Mr. Elliott, called on me.
He told you?
Everything. Now, look, Mrs. Phillips. I guess maybe I'm a sentimental sort of a fella, but I believe anybody who's gone straight for 35 years is entitled to a break.
Oh, it sounds so wonderful to hear you say that.
Why, there's a story in the papers almost every week about some governor pardoning a man who gives himself up after years of going straight. Oh, providing he hadn't been convicted of a major crime.
Well, you see, John had been gambling and signed it.
Oh.
I investigated his case. But of course, he doesn't know it.
Well, he won't. Now, I think I have a plan that'll work. We have two things to do. Get back the pearls and the ruby and prevent Tom Elliott from talking. The first is easy. The second, well, we've got a slim chance.
Is there anything you want me to do?
Yes, definitely. In half an hour, I want you to call Inspector Faraday and tell him that you know a man who escaped from jail 35 years ago.
What?
Now, please trust me, Mrs. Phillips. It's the only way I know that we can stop Elliott.
But I don't see how that will stop him. Well, I couldn't do that to John.
Well, don't you see you're doing it for John? Now, first of all, you're to tell Faraday that the man who escaped from jail 35 years ago is a man named, make up any name, say Fred Mullins. Then act a little bewildered. Don't tell him who you are, and just say you know Mullins is free, but you don't know where he is.
Then what do I do?
Then you're to hang up.
I don't understand, but if you say so, I'll do it.
Oh.
Thank you, Mr. Blackie. And that thank you comes from my heart. I was afraid my world had come to an end.
Oh, Mrs. Phillips, this is only the beginning. Oh, come on. Let me see you smile. Yeah, that's better. Bye.
Hello?
Shorty?
Oh, hello, boss. Say, I got that guy's hideout peg. It's 1761 East 13th. Apartment 6B.
Good. Now listen, Shorty. I want you to call Faraday.
Yeah?
This guy named Allenby, who happens to be in the city, and who also happens to have escaped from prison 35 years ago.
Who's this Allenby, boss? Gee, I thought I knew them all.
Oh, I just made it up.
Oh.
Play dumb, Shorty, and we'll have Mr. Faraday good and confused.
Won't be the first time.
Yeah.
Okay, Blackie, it's as good as done.
Thanks. See you later.
Inspector Faraday, I have some information.
Yeah, who is it?
Oh, that ain't important, but there's something that is.
Huh?
You know, I know a man who escaped from jail 35 years ago, and his name is Edward Allenby.
Yeah?
It'd be a feather in your cap if you arrested him.
Look, I got enough feathers now to be an Indian chief. Where is this Allenby?
I don't know.
What jail did he bust out of?
I don't know that either.
What is this, April Fool's Day? Goodbye. Faraday talking.
I just wanted to tell you, Inspector, that a man named Fred Mullins escaped from jail 35 years ago. You can find him if you hurry, but I don't know where you're to hurry to. Goodbye.
Hey, wait a minute. What is this, an epidemic of crackpots? Hello? You hung up. Yeah, Faraday speaking.
This is Blackie, Inspector.
Oh.
I've got a tip for you. I know a man who escaped...
If you're going to tell me about somebody who was supposed to have broken out of jail 35 years ago, Blackie, I'll wring your neck.
All right, Inspector, all right, then I won't tell you. Goodbye.
Six, boss. Getting out, please. Thank you. Boston Blackie. Oh, no, you don't, Elliot. No closing doors in people's faces. It isn't polite. You mind if I come in? What do you want here? Well, I want that ruby I loaned you and the pearls Mrs. Phillips gave you yesterday. Oh, you do, eh? Uh-huh. You see, Mrs. Phillips is going to put them back in the store tomorrow morning when Mr. Gordon can find them. You'll think they were just misplaced. Your memory isn't very good, Blackie. You weren't supposed to interfere anymore, remember? And I was supposed to forget about John Phillips cracking out of jail. Yes, I know. Only that doesn't matter now. Now, let's have those pearls and that ruby, Elliot. Sorry, Blackie, but they're staying with me. And I'd advise you to stand still. Oh, a gun, huh? Pretty unoriginal. But I'd expect that from a small-time crook that blackmails old women. This gun has killed 2 men, Blackie. That's all. With me on the trigger. And you know what they say about all things coming in threes? Yes. The expression is all good things. Don't worry, this will be good. I'm going to leave town until I need more money, then I'm coming back and put a little pressure on Mrs. Phillips again. I know a fence out west who'll pay a fortune for those pearls and that ruby. My bag is packed and I'm on my way. But I'm afraid I've got to kill you first. Well, you know that 38 is liable to make a lot of noise. Yes, but this silencer will make sure nobody hears it. I see. Hey, keep your hand out of your pocket. Oh, I haven't a gun, Elliot. I just wanted to get my cigarette case. Okay? Yes. But it'll be the last cigarette you smoke. Well, at least this is one way of breaking the habit. Will you have one? Sure. Hey, that's an expensive case. Yes. I'll take it with me when I go. I have a lovely gold inlay you might like also. Now, don't get too close. Just stand where you are and hold that case out as far as you can. I can reach. Oh, you mean like this? Yes. Thoughtful of you, Blackie. I'll take this. Ow! Sucker. Oh. I don't know when I've enjoyed doing anything so much. Those pretty little fingers of yours are going to hurt tomorrow, Elliot. So you killed 2 men, huh? Well, I can't wait to tell Faraday. Now, come on, hand over that jewelry, Rat. I'm in a hurry. I can't wait till I see the expression on a lovely little old lady's face. All right. Faraday, you've got me in jail, and I suppose you're sending my fingerprints out west. That's right, Elliot. Blackie finally got around to doing me a favor. You've got a little record in this city, too. You didn't tell Blackie that. I think we've got a priority on you. It doesn't matter where I go to jail. I just want to tell you this, Inspector. I've got a little information for you. Oh, yeah? Yes. I know a man who escaped from jail 35 years ago. You too? Look, Elliot, if I hear one more word out of anybody about some guy who was supposed to have busted out of jail 35 years ago, I'll bust that guy in half. I sent for you, Blackie. On account of you've got a right to know. Oh, thanks. I sent this Elliot's fingerprints out west, and he's wanted for 2 murders, just as you said. Uh-huh. And for one right here in this city, too. No. Thanks for the tip, Blackie. How did you manage to catch up with him? Oh, a little old lady told me. Huh? Yes, so I put 2 and 2 together to coin a phrase, and I said to myself, dear old Faraday. He's been so nice to me lately. What better way of showing my appreciation than to make him a present of a murderer? Thanks, Blackie. Oh, not at all, old man. But by the way, now that you've looked inside my heart, certainly my stomach, did you ever recover the pearls and the ruby? Oh, yeah. Didn't you hear what happened? No. Well, Gordon called to tell me that they were right in the shop all the time. No. Yeah. Can you beat that? Old Mrs. Phillips, who works there, found them in another drawer. Well. And they lived happily ever after. What'd you say? Oh, nothing. I just said they lived happily ever after.
In just a moment, we'll hear a preview of next week's exciting adventure with Boston Blackie. Meantime, ladies, I have a real piece of advice for you about dishwashing. I've mentioned it before, but if you haven't done it already, I'd suggest that you tote that big green and yellow Rinso box up from the laundry and see how much simpler the job can be. Yes, Rinso's rich suds really go to town for you in the dishpan. Get dishes, pots, and pans gleaming in a jiffy. Rinso's kind to your hands, too. So get Rinso tomorrow, and be sure to use it on wash day so you can join in the chorus of women who sing their way through washing clothes like this.
Rinso white, Rinso white, happy little wash day song. Rinso white, do-do-do all day long. Your fine feather can have another 2 cents, so listen, you can't go wrong. Rinso white, happy little wash day song.
But, Inspector, how do you know Boston Blackie's dead?
I told you, Matthews. All I know is some guy called me on the phone and said that after I'd come down here to Blackie's apartment, I could pick up the remains.
Who called you?
I don't know. He hung up on me.
You think it's another one of Blackie's tricks?
Well, we'll know pretty soon. If it is, I'll break every bone in his body. So here we are, 6th floor. He's in 6B here.
Hey, Chief, look. There's a guy flat on his face right outside the door.
Blackie, I don't believe it.
Chief, bumped off right outside his own apartment.
Yeah. He's a swell guy, Matthews. One of the best. Sure, he got me sore now and then, and I used to rib him, but when it came right down to cases, he was a swell guy. I'll get the guy who did this if it's the last thing I ever do.
Writing my epitaph, Faraday?
Huh?
I hate to disappoint you, but that body isn't mine.
Boston Blackie.
Summertime means warm weather, and that means more perspiration. Use Lifebuoy in your daily bath or shower to protect yourself. You'll love its rich, purifying lather. Remember, too, that of 7 leading brands, Lifebuoy gives you the most soap for your money. And besides, it's the only soap especially made to stop... Be sure to listen at this same time next week for another exciting adventure with Boston Blackie. You can see Chester Morris as Boston Blackie on the screen at your favorite movie theater. Boston Blackie's latest Columbia picture is One Mysterious Night, soon to be released. Richard Lane appears as Inspector Faraday, music by Charles Cornell. This is Harlow Wilcox saying goodnight for Boston Blackie, brought to you by the makers of Rinso, the soap that gets clothes Rinso White.
This is the National Broadcasting Company.
You have all taken seats that satisfy you, gentlemen. We will proceed at once with the business at hand. Good. Maps, photographs, and other data, Miss Arden.
In your portfolio, Mr. Father.
Thank you. Gentlemen, we are faced with a crisis. We're in dire need of funds, and we shall acquire said funds from the Wentworth Diamonds. Net profit to us, $500,000.
Boss, the Wentworth rocks are too hot to handle.
The main stone, yes. We have no interest in that. We shall acquire our revenue from the 24 smaller stones of the Wentworth collection.
We're going to take it out of Lady Wentworth's home?
Lady Wentworth has only a paste copy of the diamonds in her name. The real diamonds are in the National Vaults. At 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, the diamonds are to be transferred by armored truck from the National Vaults, for 2 weeks' display at the Manchester Museum. It is there that we appropriate them.
They'll be heavily guarded at the museum, won't they?
You will hire a dozen of the city's most capable trigger men. They'll be paid well.
Oh, I get it. Rough stuff. Huh?
You will lead the operations, Mr. Adams. 6 guards will stand in our way. The 2 at the front door can be subdued at trigger point. The 2 at the entrance to the gallery in which the Wentworth collection is being displayed may have to be rendered unconscious.
The other 2?
The other 2 will be guarding the Wentworth Diamonds. They are to be killed.
When do you plan to do this?
I'll inform you of the exact day and time of day. In the meantime, you'll study these maps and photographs at the Manchester Museum. One more thing.
There's more?
Yes. We now come to that portion of our plans which involves the person known as Boston Blackie.
And now meet Richard Culmer as Boston Blackie. Enemy to those who make him an enemy, friend to those who have no friends.
Like walking in the rain, Blackie?
That's a leading question.
Where does it lead?
Well, right now, Mary, around the corner to your apartment.
Okay. Oh, it's been a wonderful evening.
Yeah. I hope the 3 of us enjoyed it.
The 3 of us?
Sure. You and I and the man who's been following us.
Someone following us? Why?
Never had a man follow you before?
Oh. Did you see someone?
Yes.
What do we do?
Keep talking.
About what?
Oh, anything. Tell me a funny story.
A funny story.
So when I get through with him, this guy following us will have something to laugh about.
All right.
After we turn this corner here, I'll stop. But you go ahead. Cut across the grass and keep talking all the time. Here's the corner. Now, keep going. I'll hug the wall and get this fellow as he goes by.
But what if he puts up a fight?
About the only thing he'll get to put up is a squawk. Now, keep on talking. I stop here. Wish me luck.
I do. It was really the funniest thing that's happened to me in weeks, Blackie. The telephone rang about 7 o'clock this morning, and a squeaky little voice asked for Ozzie.
All right, you, reach.
Gee, boss, don't shoot. It's me.
Shorty. Well, what? Wait a minute. Hey, Mary, come on back. It's all right. It's a friend of mine.
I've been telling you all night, boss. I got to talk to you. But not with a dame, Blackie. I can't.
Since when have you turned girl shy? This is Mary Wesley, Shorty. Mary, this is Shorty, an old pal of mine.
Oh, how do you do? Boss, I got to talk to you. And where nobody can see us.
Well, if you 2 want to talk, you can come up to my apartment.
Nix, boss. This got to be private conferring.
Come on, Shorty. It's all right. Mary doesn't talk. And besides, she makes good coffee.
Oh. Hey, boss. Hey, you're right. It's a parson. This is sure good coffee.
How right are you about this frame? That's what I'd like to know.
Well, I told you all I know, Blackie. That's all I know. A high-class operator is going to snatch the Wentworth Diamonds from the Manchester Museums.
And you got it straight from one of the hoods who was hired as a triggerman.
Well, from a guy who knew a guy who was hired.
But I don't understand how they're going to involve you, Blackie.
Well, the plan seems to be this. To dress one of the gunmen to look like me. He'll be called, Blackie several times during the holdup.
Yeah, and they figure to knock off a couple of guards, see? So Blackie'll get wrapped by the cops for murder. And then to cinch it, they're planting the big Wentworth diamond in Blackie's apartment.
Is this really true?
Probably, but that doesn't mean it's going to work.
Well, what are you going to do?
I don't know. I don't know when they're planning the robbery, so I don't know when to make sure to have an alibi. This is cute.
Well, why don't you try calling Inspector Faraday?
When I want somebody to laugh at me, I'll tell jokes.
Oh, please, Blackie, please. It's the smartest thing.
Will it make you happy?
Very.
All right.
Thanks.
I've always wanted a legitimate excuse to wake Faraday in the middle of the night anyway.
Oh, he'll listen to you. I just know it.
Like I listen to opera. Faraday's probably snoring so loud that he would...
Hello?
Faraday, this is your old pal Blackie.
Blackie, what's the idea of calling me up this time of night?
What's the matter, Sleeping Beauty? Were you dreaming you had the goods on me at last?
Did you call me up to make jokes, Blackie? Because if you did,
No. Listen, Inspector, and listen carefully.
I'm not listening to anything from you. Go to bed and let me get some sleep.
Wait. Faraday. Faraday.
Did he hang up?
Well, he didn't exactly invite me over for a midnight snack.
Well, gee, boss, now what do we do?
I know what you're going to do, Blackie. Leave town.
Yeah, the lady's right, boss. You can't have no alibi 2 weeks long in this town. But if you just lamb out of town for 2 weeks...
I don't like to take it on the chin any more than anybody else. But I'm not going to take it on the lamb.
Oh, I know what you're thinking, darling. It's running away, and you don't want to run away. But please, Blackie, please do it for me.
I must be getting soft.
Well, it's the thing you gotta do, boss. For the lady's sake.
Now, I'll get your train or plane reservations. You go to your apartment with Shorty, and I'll phone you there.
I don't know why I'm doing this. I guess those looks of yours sure pack a wallop.
Never mind my looks. You just see to it that you pack a bag.
How many shirts you want in this suitcase, boss?
Oh, I don't know. Gosh, I wish that Chicago call would come in. Oh, well. Shorty, is there something that maybe you haven't told me yet? For instance, what time tomorrow are the diamonds being taken from the National Vaults to the museum?
7 o'clock. To be in the museum at 8, see? An armored car's picking them up.
No chance they intend to steal them en route. They're too well guarded in an armored car.
Gee, boss, how'd you know the diamonds would be picked up at the National Vaults instead of Lady Wentworth's house?
Lady Wentworth wears only paste copies of the Wentworth diamonds. The real ones have always been in a vault.
Gee, you know everything, boss.
Well, I know I'm in the clear till those stones get to the museum at 8 tomorrow morning. This is probably my Chicago call now.
Or the dame with the reservations on a train, maybe.
Hello?
Blackie, this is Mary. I couldn't get a plane reservation at all. I got a train reservation to Chicago just as you wanted, but it's not until Friday.
All right, then I'll leave on Friday.
Oh, but Blackie, to be perfectly safe, you have to be out of town before tomorrow morning.
Look, honey, don't worry. I'll play Invisible Man until Friday.
But I am worried, darling. What if they rob the museum before Friday?
Then I'm in a jam.
Well, if having an alibi will help, can't someone be with you all the time?
You like the job for yourself?
Oh, Blackie. Oh, Blackie, be serious. You know I can't meet you until 4 o'clock.
That has to be a date.
All right. But be careful, darling. And call me in the morning.
I'll give you a ring at 10.
See that you do. Night.
Good night. Well, Shorty, looks like you and I have a chance to have a little fun. I can't leave town till Friday.
Oh, gee, boss. You better tell your pal Kingston in Chicago. And tell him you're not coming to see him until Friday, huh?
Not at all, short one. He's going to help me.
Oh. But, gosh, what can he do? He's in Chicago.
He can give me a hand through one of his branch offices here. If I was... Oh, that's probably Charlie now. Hello?
Mr. Charles Kingston of the Kingston Corporation in Chicago calling Mr. Boston Blackie.
I'll take it, operator.
Here's your party, Mr. Kingston.
Hello, Blackie.
Hello, Charlie.
How are you, fella?
Oh, swell, Charlie. Is the man who does favors in?
Good. You can write your own ticket, Blackie. What is it?
Can you hear me clearly?
Go ahead.
All right, Charlie. Here's what I want you to do.
Hello?
Morning, Mary.
Oh, Blackie, I've worried all night long. Where are you?
In my apartment. Stop worrying.
But, Blackie, as long as you're in town and those...
Look, Mary, everything's going to be all right. There's nothing to the...
Blackie! Blackie! What's the matter? Blackie!
May I see the timetable of the Wentworth Diamond robbery, Hazel?
Here you are, Mr. Farthing.
Good. Now, here on the chart, we can see what progress we will make today.
Mm-hmm.
It's 1:30. The men are here at this moment, 1.5 miles south of the museum. In 15 minutes, the first of them will enter the museum and take their places. In 30 minutes, it'll all be over. You're smiling.
Yes.
You like the way I plan.
Obviously.
If my schedule's right, this should be Mr. Boston Blackie. Come in.
Here he is, Mr. Farthing. Boston Blackie.
Oh. Won't you come in, Blackie?
Do I have a choice?
Not for the present. That'll be all, Tom.
Right.
I'm Roger Farthing. This is Miss Hazel Arden, my secretary. Hazel, the famous Boston Blackie.
How do you do?
How are you?
You know why you're here?
Not to play house. When do my teeth start chattering?
In exactly 22 minutes, men in my employ are going to steal the Wentworth Diamonds from the Manchester Museum and inadvertently kill 2 of the guards. One of the gunmen will be referred to by the others as Blackie. You begin to see?
Seeing is a little habit I picked up some time ago.
Splendid. As you probably know, the main Wentworth diamond is too distinctive to be of value to anyone other than its rightful owner.
So?
So, one of my associates is placing it in your apartment shortly after the robbery, then informing the police of its whereabouts. You will be forced to remain here until it is found. You understand?
Perfectly.
You know something, Blackie? Nothing disturbs you. I'd like to have you on my side.
You want me on your side? Believe me, Farthing, you'd be more comfortable with acute appendicitis.
This way to the display of the Wentworth Diamonds, the Arling Galleries to the right. This way.
Saw a couple of the cars drive up across the street. Boy should be coming through the front door in a minute, right? There they are. Took care of the guards at the door.
Go ahead, do your stuff.
All right, everybody get back. Keep quiet. This isn't any fooling.
Over this way, Blackie, in here.
Come on, gang. Blackie, over this way.
Blackie, get those two guards. Cut them down. Cut them down.
I got the diamonds. Let's go.
Nice shooting, Blackie. Nice shooting. Those guards never knew what hit them.
Faraday.
Inspector, this is Mary Wesley.
Yeah?
You remember me, don't you?
Oh, I remember all of Boston Blackie's friends, so I can identify him when we pull him out of the river. What do you want?
I talked to Blackie on the phone at 10 o'clock this morning. We were cut off. I haven't heard from him since.
Oh, don't let that surprise you.
But I had a date with him at 4 o'clock, and he didn't show up. I'm worried about him.
I think you should be.
Has something happened?
Plenty. I hope you like music, Miss Wesley, because you're playing second fiddle to the Wentworth Diamonds. Blackie stole them this afternoon.
Now back to our story. When we left Boston Blackie, he was, to all appearances, hopelessly victimized by Roger Farthing's plan to frame him for the theft of the Wentworth diamonds and the murder of the two museum guards. As provided in Farthing's plan, the police have been notified that the main Wentworth diamond is in Blackie's apartment. And as we continue our story, Inspector Faraday knocks on Blackie's door.
Okay, Blackie. Come on, open up in there. Open up! All right,
Hi, Inspector.
Okay, Shorty. Go on, get back in the apartment. Where's Blackie? Where's the Wentworth diamond?
The Wentworth Diamond, Inspector?
Shorty, the only time you look smart is when you're trying to look dumb.
Oh, gee, thanks.
Sit down over there and behave yourself. I'm going to look around for that diamond.
Oh, Inspector, there ain't no jewel around here. In that drawer or anywhere else.
He not only stole the entire Wentworth collection, but he killed two guards. And you can't get out of a rap like that with a suspended sentence. Huh? Nothing in here. Maybe this drawer.
Look, Inspector, I can tell you the whole thing from the beginning if you'll believe me.
Yeah? Blackie rehearse you?
Look, do you remember when Blackie was...
Oh, the jewel wasn't here, huh? What's this, a kid's marble?
Gee. Hey, that rock's got more sparkle than a pinwheel.
Yeah, this is the Wentworth diamond, all right. Now, what do you do with the smaller ones?
You mean there's more?
You know there are more. All around here, Shh.
Uh-oh.
Someone's coming down the hall. It's probably Blackie. Turn out the lights.
Oh, Inspector,
Turn out those lights.
Yes, sir.
This is going to be wonderful. Wise guy knocking on his own door. Is that a signal to you?
It don't mean nothing to me.
I'll open it.
Blackie, are you... Oh,
Miss Wesley, it's you.
is Blackie here?
Turn on the lights, Shorty.
Oh, sure thing. Hi, Miss Wesley.
Shorty, where is he? What happened to him?
Well, didn't he meet you?
No. And when he called me, we were cut off. I don't know what happened.
Oh, gee.
Okay, you two. Make yourselves comfortable. Because we're going to wait right here for Blackie.
Oh, gee, Inspector, I think you're way off base.
Think so, huh? Well, we're waiting here all night if we have to. Because with Miss Wesley here, I'll guarantee Blackie thinks there's no base like home.
Mr. Farthing.
Oh.
Mr. Farthing.
I must have fallen asleep, Hazel. Sleep well earned.
You've released Boston Blackie?
Yes. Before very long, we shall hear that he's been picked up for robbery and murder. And tomorrow morning, I shall have in my hands 24 of the most precious diamonds in the world.
Tomorrow morning, Mr. Farthing. You mean this morning?
Oh, It is quite late, isn't it?
Nearly mid-morning.
I suggest you go to your room and try to sleep, Hazel. And if you are addicted to dreams, my dear, perchance you can dream of the crime so perfect that it cost nothing but the life of Boston Blackie.
Gee, Inspector. It's the middle of the morning. Hey, when do we get out of here, huh?
When I say you do, not before. So don't keep asking. Uh-oh, there's a key in the door. It's probably Blackie. Quiet.
Mary, Shorty, good morning. What?
Hold it, Blackie.
Oh, Inspector, do you have to turn up when I feel refreshed and happy? One look at you and I'm 20 years older.
You're not going to live 20 years, Blackie. What they do to you for murder in this state isn't good for your health.
What did I do? Kill one of your jokes?
You killed 2 guards at the Manchester Museum yesterday.
Don't be a fool, Faraday. I wasn't near the Manchester Museum when those guards were killed.
Then where did you get this diamond I found in your drawer? At the 5 and 10?
I could get one like that off a chandelier, Inspector. That's a phony.
It's the central diamond from the Wentworth collection. And you know it.
I don't even know that the diamonds were stolen.
What?
For all I know, they're still in the Manchester Museum, just where they ought to be.
Sometimes I think you ought to have your head examined. There are witnesses who saw you there. I find the diamond in your apartment, and you tell me the Wentworth jewels are still in the museum. Come on, what did you do with the smaller stones?
Mary, call the museum, will you?
Sure.
The phone number's Plaza 39613.
That kind of a stall isn't going to get you anywhere, Blackie. Forget about that phone call, Miss Wesley.
Make it, Mary, and don't be a dope, Faraday. Wait a minute.
Oh, what'll I say?
Tell the museum you're calling for Inspector Faraday.
All right.
I'm not going to wait around for any phone call.
Where would you like to meet us, Inspector? At the Ritz or the Roni?
Very funny, Blackie. But I don't need a phone call to prove those diamonds were stolen. I got one of them right in my hand.
Roll that stone out, Inspector, and it'd make a nice window pane.
Hello, Manchester Museum. I'm calling for Inspector Faraday. Yes, of police headquarters.
They don't even know you, pal.
Yes, just a minute. He wants to talk to you, Inspector.
Yeah? We didn't know who I was, huh? Give me that phone.
Blackie said he's been trying to reach the inspector
Hello,
all morning.
this is Faraday
Most people
talking.
don't know when they're well
What
off.
do you want? The Wentworth diamonds are in their display case. What? Sure, I'll be right down.
I told you the diamonds were right where they belong, Faraday. Have a nice trip down there. Mary and I are going to have some breakfast. You too, Shorty. Come on.
Just a minute, Blackie. I don't fall for any of the tricks this easy. I'm going down to have a look at those jewels, all right. But you're going with me.
Here are the diamonds, Inspector, just as they were before the robbery. I don't understand it, but here they are.
How do I know these aren't phony?
I beg your pardon, Inspector, but I'm an expert in such matters.
What about this diamond in my hand?
It's paste.
And what's this gag about the jewels being stolen, 2 guards killed?
Well, it's all very true, Inspector, but this morning when I came into the museum, here were the diamonds just as they were before the unfortunate incident. It's amazing.
Happy, Faraday?
All the diamonds are here?
All but one small stone. But we're so happy to have the other diamond returned, we aren't terribly concerned about it.
Well, I'm concerned, especially about those 2 murdered guards.
I'll tell you where you can find that missing stone, Faraday, and the man responsible for the death of the 2 guards.
In your apartment?
No, in room 909 in the Winston Hotel. In the handkerchief pocket of a friend of mine.
Blackie, you're getting deeper and deeper into this every minute.
I'll be in plenty deep if a certain party had a cold last night. A diamond that size is nothing to sneeze at.
Here's room 909. Whose room is this?
You'll see.
Yes?
Hello, beautiful.
What do you want?
In. Come on, Inspector.
I'm with you.
How dare you force your way in here?
I seemed welcome enough here yesterday. Where's Farthing?
Who's out there?
Don't talk, beautiful. He's in there, Inspector. Come on.
Mr. Farthing, it's the police.
What's the meaning of...
You two know each other, don't you?
Hello, Farthing. I didn't know you were in town.
Oh, good morning, Inspector. I was just in town for the day on a buying trip.
Buying diamonds, Inspector.
Diamonds?
For free. Look in his handkerchief pocket, Faraday.
I'm in no mood for practical jokes, gentlemen. I have a business appointment that I...
You may
intend
have to reach inside for the stone, Faraday. The handkerchief may not pull it out.
We'll see. There.
What fell on the desk, Inspector?
Looks like a diamond to me. Farthing, if this is from the Wentworth collection, I'm arresting you for murder and robbery.
It's from the Wentworth collection, all right.
From the looks of it, I'd say the same thing. Congratulations, Blackie.
Farthing, do you admit this is a Wentworth diamond?
Oh, I see no reason why I shouldn't. You'll discover it for yourself in due time. I know when I'm beaten, but I don't know how. Blackie?
Sorry, Farthing. That's a secret of the profession.
If we of the same profession were alone...
Same profession? Don't flatter yourself, Farthing.
Inspector, would you be so kind?
Let us have 5 minutes alone, Faraday. It's all right.
I'm not the type to run away from anything once I run into it. It's entirely safe.
Well, with Blackie in here and me outside the door, I guess it's okay. 5 minutes, no more.
Sit down.
Thanks. You're a good sport, Farthing. Sit right here.
A gambler has to be a good sport.
Yes, I guess he does.
I'm amazed. How did you do it, Blackie? When?
The diamond in your pocket? It wasn't easy. You didn't let me get close to you but once when I was here yesterday. Fortunately, once was enough.
But that's so utterly impossible. The diamonds were still in the museum when you were here yesterday.
That's where you're wrong, Farthing. The diamonds were never in the museum. Only a set of paste.
Why?
I switched them myself at the National Vaults, 8 o'clock yesterday morning.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Tell me how.
Well, the first thing I did was to borrow Lady Wentworth's paste set. That was easy. Lady Wentworth is away. The paste set is not locked up because it's worthless. Then I hired an armored car.
That alone is no simple matter.
It was simple enough for my friend Charlie Kingston.
Of Chicago?
Yes. He hired an armored car for me through his local office.
And how did you use this armored car?
My friend Shorty and I dressed as bank guards and went to the delivery entrance of the vaults a little before 8 with the paste diamonds in a case just like the ones the real diamonds were in.
I see. You stayed just inside the delivery entrance until the armored truck came along, then walked out with the paste diamonds and gave them to the driver.
Well, that was no problem. We weren't stealing anything, just handing to the driver something he expected to get.
So far, brilliant, brilliant. Then what?
Then Shorty and I got our own armored car from around the block, drove it to the delivery entrance of the vault, and picked up the real diamonds from the real bank guards.
That was simple, too, because the bank guards expected to see an armored car outside the delivery entrance.
So a set of phonies went to the museum, and I kept the real set. Until after your men robbed the museum. Then I broke into the museum at night and delivered the real diamonds, that is, all except the one small stone which I planted on you.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Thanks. That's a lot coming from you under the circumstances.
I am an artist in my way, Blackie, and you're an artist in yours. Does one great painter scoff at the work of another because the other's artistry is superior to his own?
Maybe you're not the artist you think, Farthing.
Why do you say that?
The idea of involving me. It seems to me that a good artist concentrates more on the picture and a little less on the frame.
Oh, Blackie, look at those lovely diamonds in this window. Aren't those engagement rings beautiful?
They sure are.
Oh, how I'd love to have that one there.
You would?
Well, it might depend on who gave it to me.
Oh.
I might like you to give me one someday. Except
what?
Except I'd never be quite sure just how you got it.